Hello everyone. I've been getting some messages and emails wanting to know about what to do when you start out with card making. So if some of this stuff may not be all card stuff, and it doesn't mean, please don't go out and buy all this at one time. You collect it, and as I talk about it, you'll see, I made a list. I wanted to make sure I won't be able to touch on everything, but to start out with card making, you need a good ruler. Tim Holtz has this ruler, and I really like it. You can see through it. It's very nice. If you need to measure something, you can go in and you can make it to where it's in the middle. Let me see if I'm in, yeah. You can have, it's got a 0 right here, and you can figure out and have something exactly in the middle. And I just really like this. It has a metal edge so you can cut beside of it, and it has a beveled edge to where you can run, I'd even run inks along to get us a exact straight line with it, pencils, all of that. And so that's my go-to. I really like it. So a good ruler. Look at the next is a cutter. I'm going to talk about a good cutting mat, and this one is 17 inches. I think it's 12 inches. I have a ruler right here. Yes, it's 12 by 16. So you need a cutting mat so you can cut on top of it. You might want to punch holes through paper or any of that, and this works really good for that. And you need a good cutter. And since we are memory keepers, my friend sent me this one. It also has where you can score. Bring it out like this, and you can score it on here. And what I like to use is a Teflon bone folder, and that scores into there real good, and it's not so pointed to where it will cut your paper. That's very important, not to cut your paper. And it has an edge to it to where you can fold the paper and burnish it down really good, and that's important. So this is the cutter right here. Okay. And I talked about the Teflon bone folder. And if you get these, if you get this one, it comes with a bone folder. So you wouldn't even have to buy an extra bone folder. If you get this, it's a score tool, a cutter, a score tool, and you have your bone folder. So that's kind of a plus with this. It's got everything. Now, if you're really wanting to get into card and boxes making and all of that, I can't see any need in buying a separate or scoring when you can get it with this, and where you can have a cutter and the bone folder and everything with it. Now, the only thing about Martha Stewart is you have the information here to do your envelopes. I got it upside down, but it tells you what size to start with your paper and what to score it on, and so that's the only thing, is you don't have that with We Are Memory Keepers. Let me put it up. You have to turn it upside down and look at it to get that back in. But it came with this bone folder. It's a little one, but it did come with that, with measurements on boxes and all sorts of things. And I use this because it's a double-ended when I'm doing boxes, and you can score, and it doesn't go inside there. You don't want to score paper and have the end to go down in there, because it will cut your paper. So make sure whatever you use, it will not go down in that groove to where you will cut your paper. You want it big to where it won't do that. It'll go in there and stay in that slot, but it won't reach down inside, because if you do, that will cut your paper. Now we talked about that, and I can show you. I mainly do A2 cards, and A2 cards is 5.5 by 4 1/4. And if you take an 8-inch piece of paper and you cut it in half, then you can turn it this way and you can score it. You need to flip this. That way you have this up here, and you want it at 4 1/4. And that gives you a nice edge. That's why I like this one, because it has that on it, and you can burnish that down real well. You cut your paper and score it. There. And that's A2 size is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it's exactly half of 8.5 by 11. So you have no waste when you are doing a card base. This is a card base. It is not the card itself. You're going to add all sorts of things to this. I like a few different types of scissors. I like this for fussy cutting. I like these scissors. They're very sharp point, and they're the Cutter Bug, and they're very nice. They come with this case, and they work real well. And then for the large ones, the Tim Holtz. Oh man, these are a breeze. I love these. They're Teflon. They won't stick. They cut a piece of paper like butter. It's just like that. They're really good scissors. Now, something that I don't use anymore because I have a Brother Scan and Cut is these. And you would take and put the Tim Holtz ruler down and turn it to the metal side, and then you could take and cut your page to get into real close designs. And this fits around your finger, and you can use it like this and glide along. It works real well. But these are Friskers. So those are the 3 scissors. I don't go to this one hardly ever anymore, but these 2 I use on a daily basis. You need a good reversible tweezers, and these are the best, because if you're embossing or working with something small, it'll hold it for you while you're heating or doing something that might burn your finger. If you glue something and you need it to hold it together for you, I've done ribbons like bows and stuff like that, the reversible tweezers. And I like them. I call it, it's just something that you can take when you do tape, and you can take the backing off of it for your cards. I got mine in a set like this. It's actually, Steve got it for me. It had tweezers and all kind of little tools with it. And so, you know, it come in a case like that. I don't know where he purchased it, but it's just got all kind of little neat tools to it. I like to have 3 mechanical pencils. I have a 05, a 07, and a 09. And I like a black pen, a white pen, and a gold pen. And these are those uniballs. Now my mechanical pencil is Pentel. I've had these ever since I was in school, in high school. I love them. I've had these 3 the whole time. But the uniball pens, you need a good white one for highlights and making snow, and if you want stitch lines in white or if you want stitch lines in black, you need a good black pen. I have several different kinds. I have the micro, and I have these other pens that were sent to me. And but those are the pens that I use for that. The gold is just good to highlight and to write with for Christmas time. The Tombow eraser is mono. It's a mono eraser, and what it is it's a sand eraser, and I am not kidding. This thing is amazing. It's like little sandpaper, but it's one of the best erasers. I hardly ever use any other type of eraser. I will use the putty when I'm sketching with pencils. I will use it, but this mono eraser is great for card making. If you're not getting into professional, I have electric sand eraser, and it works great too. But I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna pick this eraser up. No, they're magical, but they're really, really good. I'm not kidding you. One of the best things they have ever invented was that. These are the glues. This is the only wet glue I will use. It's called Art Glitter Glue. They cannot ship this out in the winter. It cannot be under 40 degrees when they ship it. But this little bottle has lasted me a long time. It's 8 ounces, and what I do is I put it in this. I get these, they were sent to me, a set of 10 of these little bottles, and I got stainless steel pen to put in there to keep the end of it from drying out. They come with this little thing, the bottles do, but I don't know, this just got in my way. I hated it, so I got this to where I could pull this out and get precision gluing. Takes very little, so your paper doesn't buckle. I mean, you can just put a couple of dots on it and turn it over and do it like that, and it is down. It dries quick. Really, really a good adhesive. It's a water base, but it's permanent, and it's non-toxic, so it's acid free, so it's really good. My next adhesive, if I go to it, is my ATG gun. Now they have this double-sided tape, and it comes in small ones where you don't have to buy this if you're not into big card making. But I like this ATG gun, and I buy the acid free. I don't buy the cheap stuff. I use the good stuff. You can have it even on photos. It won't yellow. It's really good. Okay, that's my adhesive. This is alcohol. When you're doing watercolor, I like to use it. It's just something that I wanted to tell you. And on adhesive, it's good to have a dimensional. In fact, I'm out of my big roll, but these glue dots work real good. I got these from Tuesday morning, so this big, it'll last a long time, $1.99. Mat. You need a slick mat, something that you're going to be able to do stuff with and make a mess and not hurt your countertop, okay? And this is what you want. Let me make sure I got it on the right side. I do. But it's a mat where you can put all kind of adhesives and inks and just wipe it off and clean it off. So you need a good mat. I got this from Amazon, and it works super great. In fact, I'll just leave it out while I'm talking to you about it. And embellishments. You can go crazy with embellishments. A friend of mine gave me these. She wasn't gonna use them. She got them at Michael's. She said, I've used them and I don't like them, so she gave them to me. And but I'm not sure how much she paid for them, but they have them. They do have them at Michael's. But these are really pretty. I think they're great for card making. But you can do diamonds. You know, embellishments is just that. You just put like some on butterflies and, you know, fairies and birthday flowers, you know, whatever you want. And then baker's twine. This is some that I've had for a long, long time. I used to crochet and do needlework, and since I don't do it anymore, I use it in my card making. This is old. I'm telling you, I've had this for a long time. JP Coates. But like I said, it's up to you, whatever you want on your card. If you don't want anything, you just want a stamp, it's up to you. the paper out a while ago to show you, but this is what I use for card base and for stamping. It is Nina, the 110, and it's acid free, but it's really nice paper, and it makes good card bases. And card bases, the sizes are up to you, whatever size you feel comfortable with and want to make. The reason card makers in America do A2 is because it's half of an 8.5 by 11, and that's why they do it. It's no waste, no cut, nothing. But I do 5 by 7s, wedding invitations, and you need a good cardstock because when you pick up a card, you want it to, I don't know, there's a feeling about it. If you get something that's real thin, say it's this piece of paper, this is just printer paper, and it's thin, you couldn't make a card out of it. I mean, if you're a child, yeah, but a professional, no. And once you stamp and you put layers on this, the card is going to feel substantial. It's going to have some weight and body to it, so it's going to be nice. So the Nina cardstock, I buy it by the rim. I think I got a deal where I had 5 rims, and it was really reasonable. But I think on Amazon you can usually get it under $15 for a rim of it. You've got choices. You can, if you're in a hurry, you can just buy these already pre-made, and they come in a box like this. And this is A7, which is 5.25 and 7.25. So it'll fit a 5 by 7 card. I think there's 200 in here. You can buy them pre-made, the envelopes, or you can make your envelopes with a We Are Memory Keeper board. And I've showed you how to do one. They're easy, and you can take a number of different things. They don't have to be real thick, but you can take magazines and actually make some beautiful envelopes out of magazines that are being recycled or thrown away. It's something that you put on a wish list for your family to get you if you're wanting to get into this. Is stamp positioners. I am a serious card maker. I use the big Misty for my personal use. When I'm on here, I use a small one. My opinion, if you're just going to make cards, this would be the one to purchase. If you're going to get into making a lot of cards and you just want the best, you want the name brand, I'm just going to say it like it is, then this, I would not purchase the biggest one. I do a lot of big stuff for people, and this will fit it because it'll fit a 12 by 12. The one in the middle, that's the small one, and then there's one a little bit bigger. I would get the middle one. If you want a Misty and you feel like that is what you want, then do it. If not, I'm here to tell you, this right here works wonderful. It's amazing. It works better than I ever expected it to. The reason I say to invest in this and not these is because Friskers, now these work great. They're amazing. I like them, and I do use them. If I'm just doing something real quick and I don't want to get out, I'll grab this. But 9 times out of 10, I'm going to get my big Misty because I'm doing a lot of different cards, and I can do 4 cards at one time. So, you know, you're going to spend over $20 for a set of these from Friskers. You'll spend $15, and I think there's 3 that comes with this. I got them with the other 2 are with the children's stuff, and I don't even, they're not at my house right now. So this is anywhere from 20 and under, or 22. And the reason I say for beginners is because when you first start stamping, I even have trouble now if I'm using a brand new stamp and I press down, sometimes it just doesn't do it, or if it's on watercolor paper, because you will not get a good stamp. Well, if you don't get a good stamp and you raise it up, you can just put it right back down and stamp it again, re-ink it and stamp it. Okay? So I'm here to tell you, if you want to start making cards, this is the one I would purchase. So I would go with something like this. It works tremendously well. I'm very surprised at how good it works. A company sent it and wanted me to try it out, and I'm so glad they did. It's called Stamping Pro, but Sunlit, I never even heard from them, and they sent me this, and it's got, these come with it. Look at some of my videos and you'll see me stamp, and this one, I'm telling you, it works great. It's super. Okay, I'll put this back up. I have this stamp scrubber from Stampin' Up. I've had it for a good while. And you rinse it and clean your things, but since I went to a stamp positioner, I don't even use it. What I do use is glycerin with some water and a chamois, and that's it. I don't use, you could use baby wipes. I just try to be more mindful of the environment. My go-to ink for sentiments is this Versified. It's a black onyx, and you are going to get a crisp every time. This is a watercolor Mozart. I was going to hit on that some too, but say you just want, I'll try, I'll put the pink in here. And just have some pink in the flower. Okay, that didn't smear. It's there. It's not going anywhere. It didn't bleed, in other words. This is a Copic. Hate to mess it up, but look how that, I have to rub this off to get it off. Look how that bled, that black bled on that and made it look dirty. Okay? You cannot have, you cannot use Copic with Versified. You can use watercolor. See there? The color is just beautiful. It's not smeared with black. It's crisp and pretty. So you have to use watercolor with Versified. If you want to use alcohol, then you're going to have to use, this is my other go-to, is the Mento Black Tuxedo. It's a really nice ink. I'm doing a no-no. I mean, if you don't have a stamp positioner, you can do it this way. It's not the easiest, but you can do it. See, there, that's why you wouldn't want to, but it can be done. I could have been more careful. Okay, now give that time to dry. It's not the best stamp, but I didn't even put it on a, it's dry. Okay, you're going to see a difference in this and that. And I'll get a different color too where you can see it better. But that black will not smear. I'll just grab one of my Owens. Now you can see on this, it's going to be dirty. See that mixes in with that. But this one, it doesn't. It's nice and crisp. And it's just, you know, that's the difference. You can use alcohol inks with Minto, the Tuxedo Black. And when you store these, you need to turn them upside down. But that's 2 blacks. And sentiments, I would use the black onyx because it's such a crisp, pretty ink. It's really nice. And you can, you know, you can make your decision. Now, instead of having tons of color, you can take and stamp with this, and you can use watercolor. You can use a I've showed them to you before, but these are the doubled end brush from Mozart, and they're $20-something for a set of them. This has a fine tip, and it has a brush tip. It's a hard brush tip, but they work really good, and they stay juicy for a long time. And those are really nice to have. You can also do watercolor paint sets. This is Mozart. It's 40 sets of it, and these are the colors, and they're beautiful. And they're a little bit more expensive, but that would last forever. The kids love this. This is their favorite paint to paint with. It is a student grade, but there's also this, but by the time you buy one of these little Prima watercolor to do watercolor with, you could buy this one. And see, this is the colors you get with it. But you know, it's up to you what you would like to have in your supplies. And this is my opinion. It doesn't make it right, it's just my opinion. I've been doing it for a long time. I wished I'd had somebody to tell me when I first started out where I could have actually saved some money and not bought the wrong items, or waited and it saved my money up and bought something that was going to last me a long time. These water brush pens, I've talked to you about them before. You just put water in them and you can dip them in your paints, and the colors, I mean, this one you've got 40, this one you just have 12, this one you have 21. So, you know, it's up to you what you want, but I wouldn't buy, starting out, I wouldn't buy a whole bunch of inks like I have here. You know, all these different inks. I would just stick with the 2, one for alcohol. If you're not going to do alcohol, you wouldn't even need this, okay? Or the Versified Black Onyx. And then you can buy watercolor or watercolor pencils. It's up to you. You have to make a choice of what you want to do or what you like. You know, you might not be interested in any of it, and that's okay. But I did get a lot of messages from y'all wanting to know what was my suggestions. I like a corner rounder. This one is from Japan. It does a nice corner round, and it has 3 sizes. It has large, medium, and small. I always go to the large, and that's the corner rounder on it. This is We Are Memory Keepers. I have a check mark on the side that I like the best, and this is what it looks like. You know, so it's preference. It's what you want. It's what you like. Just to recap a little bit of what I talked about any clear stamp with a stamp positioner works great. But I would definitely, before I would go and buy, unless you want to try out. Now you could get one clear stamp of something that you want. This has like happy birthday, anniversary, retirement, new home, just because, hello. You could get one to see if you like it. You wouldn't have to get a stamp positioner, but I would suggest you get some type of block. Now, I have friends that go to like Ace Hardware to let you look in their bin of their leftover acrylic that they cut down, and you can get blocks from them. And sometimes they'll give them to you. Sometimes it's just like $1. So you can try that to see if you like it. And you saw me take this and stamp that logo with it being on here. You can do that. When I've been in a pinch, I've done it before. If you just don't want to get the stamp positioner out. It's as good as all the others. And that's no lie. And I've had it a while now. It's got a thing on it where it won't slide around, so you put it down and it stays. I mean, if you really push it, you can make it push, but it sticks, and it's got the little magnets on here. It's simple. It's not expensive, you know, but it works. It works great. Hey, I've even had kids to make a stamp positioner out of CD cases. I mean, they put a little foam in there and they take a CD case and they make a stamp positioner out of it. I mean, it can be done, you know. When you're low in funds, where there's a will, there's a way. If you need any help, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate. If your children need help, you can message me, email me, call me. You know, I don't mind helping at all. I feel like that's what, as an adult and older, I'm old, all right? I'm way over 60 now. So as an adult and older, that's what we're supposed to do, is help one another out. So I know this was a long video, I'm sorry, but to be able to go over everything, and I made the list to where, you know, I could explain most of everything. We didn't even touch on embossing. You've seen me emboss before. You have whatever you want to stamp with, whatever color. My thing is you should have a clear embossing, a gold and a silver. For there's wow for white, but those are the colors you need to have. If you have clear, then any black ink you have, the embossing will work. You don't even have to use the embossing clear ink pad. It's a sticky substance that the embossing will work on. If you want to know more about it, look at a couple of my videos, and it shows the heat gun and the embossing. There's so many supplies out there. I try to hit the most important thing. You can buy unlimited Echo Park. All the paper coordinate. You wouldn't even have to buy stamps, but if you want to say Merry Christmas on each of your stamps, you would at least need something like that, or Happy Birthday. But these paper packs have all the stickers in the back, all of these. And these are usually like $9 to $10 for a pack, one pack. And they will do a bunch, and all you have to do is have the card base that we made tonight. But I'll be doing some Christmas in July cards, and you can see how I use these paper packs for that. So I want to say good night, and God bless each of you. I hope you're staying safe and being careful. Please don't hesitate to get in contact with me and let me know if I can help you in any way. You know, that's what we're put on this earth to do, to help each other out. I hope everyone has a good night. Bye for now.